Welcome to this lesson on transits. Now, on beaming, transits are brilliant. They are the most affirmative navigational tool we have. We can transfer them from the deck to the chart, back to the deck without considering deviation or variation or anything like that. Super easy, really helpful. So let's find out a bit more about them. Now, do pay close attention because they are going to be your best friend in any Yachtmaster exams. Practical on the water, I'm talking here. They're a really easy way of navigating. So let's make sure we're all totally comfortable with transits. At this point, you should all know what transits are, and hopefully you've used them lots anyway. But just in case there's anyone in the room who's not sure, I'll just quickly recap. It'll take me 5 seconds, 2 minutes. So a transit is whenever we have two objects perfectly in line. Take my handy pencils. Right now, they are perfectly in line. You can only possibly be on this bearing with these pencils. If we move to one side, thank you, cameraman, the two transits, the two objects separate. We are no longer on this bearing. Cool. So you see how that works? The only way you can get a transit wrong is if you forget your glasses and you're looking at the wrong two objects. They're so simple. As long as they're in line, you are on this exact bearing. Any two objects can make up a transit, as long as one is closer to you than the other. For example, over my shoulder, our helmsman has lined up this lovely cardinal and lighthouse. Hopefully you can see that. They are almost in transit right now. They're really close to being on transit. It is hard to keep exactly on that line. When this is happening, we say those two objects are in transit and we are on transit with them. If we start to deviate off course, then you'll see them start to separate. Great, there's a real example of our transit separating as we are deviating off our course. So I've shown you what it looks like up here, but what makes it really useful is that we can take this down to the charts and plot it straight on our charts with no compass, no deviation, no variation. So let's do that now. Let's go down below and look at the charts. Right, and here we are down in the saloon. And we'll just quickly plot a transit on the chart so you're totally confident of how this works. So all we need to do is take the edge of our Portland plotter and line it up with both, in this case we're going to use Rod's Skerry and West Groats. Line the edge of the plotter up with both of those, draw a line in the direction we are in, and that is our transit plotted. We know we are somewhere along that line if those two marks are in transit. So long as we look out and see them in line, we are on that position line. Totally simple. No deviation, no variation. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. In that example, we were just sailing along and just happened to see two lights line up and thought, wait, let's use that transit to get a position fix. Great. However, we can also plan ahead with our transits. If we look at our chart, we'll see there's actually quite a few which have been drawn on. And they're printed on, not just drawn on, printed onto the chart. Some of these are even built, purpose-built. There'll be purpose-built beacons set up to make a useful transit for us to use with our navigation. Most commonly, we're going to find these in pilotage areas where something's been set up to guide us into port. Some of these are man-made and some of these are natural. If you go into a big port, they might have great lit transits with huge structures where you might get like a V shape and then a diamond, and you have to sit the diamond in the V to get them in line. Very fancy. Go to some more rural areas and you're more likely to find someone's just painted a couple of rocks on the shore white, and you line those two rocks up and you get, they both work just as well. Obviously the lit ones work at night. If they are lit, the technical term for them, what we call them, is leading lights. And that's terminology you're going to see written in the pilotage notes in the training almanac. If they're not lit, they're going to be called leading lines. So leading lights or leading lines. Makes perfect sense. Both are charted transits, and we use them just the same as any other transit. We shouldn't wait until we are out on the water before we start spotting transits. We should look at our charts and plan ahead and see if there's anything useful coming up, and then make use of it when we're going past. Great, hopefully you are nice and comfortable with transits now. Like I said at the start, this is so useful, right? It's not a full position fix, it's just a position line, but when you're out on your practical course, we can have so much confidence in these transits. We really want to be picking them out wherever we can. Any two objects on a chart make a transit, make use of it. That's it for now. That's as much as I can teach you with regard to position fixing and transits.
Okay, Charlie, when the house bears about 270 degrees.
Information to work out our distance from the lighthouse and use that.
We might be perfectly on track, but if we're not on time...
Just have a look, I've got my phone here at the effect it has on our steering compass.
So our echo sound is working, we can find a contour and follow it nicely into port.
Our left hand is pointing towards the centre of the low.